We are going to now call to order the Dutchess County LDC meeting and regular meeting. And Jasmine, would you please take a roll call of board members?
Jim Dean.
Here.
Mark Doyle.
Yeah.
Kathy Bauer. Amy Bonadiri.
Here.
Jamie King.
Oh.
John Sagliano.
Here.
Here.
Alex Wilson.
Okay.
Did we approve you?
Yes.
All right. Conflict of interest disclosures. If anybody has a conflict with anything coming before us in the discussions, could you please let us know now? Okay, hearing none. If there's something that develops during the meeting, please let us know and we'll recuse you from the discussion. Proof of meeting notice was posted?
Yes.
Okay. Bills and communications.
None.
Okay. I just want to remind everybody, I guess we have this on here, but we very seldom discuss bills and communications. But that being said, I just want to assure everybody that I do receive copies of all checks that are being written. And I have to sign off on those. And there is potential conflict with me with insurance. I don't even know if it's true or not, but it's possible that Marshall & Sterling provides services, and I was the CEO, I'm now the chairman of the board. But for anything that involves that subject, I asked Jane to get a different signature than me on that item, which she does. So I just want everybody to know there is a set procedure in place for all expenditures where the POs and the checks are prepared, under separate authorization, and then the checks are approved by me. And I believe there are other people that can.
Yes.
And you use if I'm not available.
Yes, yes. So, yes, we have 5 signatories. It's you, Mark Doyle, and Kathy Bauer, yeah. And then Jane and I are also.
And second signature.
The signature, anything over 10,000 requires a second signature.
Great. Okay, moving on. We have some minutes from the September 13th meeting. Again, myself and Amy weren't there, but for our council, we still have the ability to vote on the approval of the minutes after we hear the input of the attendees that were there. So does anybody have any changes? Any corrections? Somebody willing to make a
I'd
motion?
like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
Second from Jamie. Okay, Jasmine.
Mark Doyle.
Approved.
Amy Bonadiri.
Approved.
Approved.
John Sagliano.
Approved.
Jim Dean.
Approved. Okay, financial report.
Yes.
Jane.
So the balance sheet is being displayed right now. We have cash of 3.1 million. Looking down at
I'm sorry, what did you say?
cash,
3.1.
3.1 million.
Yeah.
Is that what I said? Or-
I don't know, Maine sounded like.
Yeah, you said it, 3.1, I heard it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. Looking down at the other assets, the other receivable, there's 120,000 there. That's the county, which we did receive just the other day. That was for the Dutchess County and the ARP.
Okay.
We have a payable of our accrued payroll of 30,000. Moving on to the P and L, unless there's any questions. The next. So this is again 12 months of the budget. We have total income of 1.1 million to a budget of 926,000, favorable to budget by 190,000. We have total expenses of 834,000 to a budget of 1.3 million for favorable to budget for 439,000. So we have net income right now of 282,000 to a budgeted loss of 347,000. So we're right now favorable by 629,000. So the next page is the budget at 9. So, and with the LDC, the expenses are reflected, you can see it better this way. This is one of the ones because we're, as you can see, the audit, we still have to accrue. But for, let's see, I mean, as you can see, payroll is spot on. Payroll tax is a little low, but for the most part, still favorable to budget by almost 543,000.
Anybody have any questions? Okay. All right, thank you. Let us move on to reports of committees. Okay, Jamie, would you like to discuss the consideration approval of the auditing firm?
Yes, the auditing firm. Again, the audit committee met last week, I believe. We discussed the three proposals we received from our RFP, and RBT came in, PKF O'Connor, and Prager Metis. Again, we eliminated Prager Metis on their more government auditing skills. We looked at RBT and PKF. They're very similar in price and scope. Again, we feel more comfortable without having to do the learning curve all over again with choosing RBT, or recommending RBT, I should say. So, and they were reasonably priced again.
I'll make the motion, to accept, RBT as the, auditors for the next 3 years.
Thank you. Can I get a second on that?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mark. Jasmine, would you please take a roll call?
Mark Doyle,
Approved.
Amy Longoria,
Approved.
James O'Connor,
Approved.
Juan Sagliano,
Approved.
Tim Dean.
Approved. Okay, next, let's talk about the budget. And for those watching on video in the future, and for the minutes, if somebody wants some additional clarity on the budget, since the IDA and the LDC have some intertwined business dealings, I would encourage people, if they wish for further information about how they interact, they may want to view the video of the recently concluded IDA meeting as well. But let's talk about the LDC.
Okay, so once again, the Budget Committee, Audit Committee met last week. For 2024 proposed budget, on the administrative fees, we're projecting one project next year. Given the environment of the interest rates, we believe BARD is coming back to propose some bonds for their theater, I believe, right, Sarah?
Well, so no, so the BARD, bond that the board approved is going to be done in two
Right.
tranches, but the admin fee has already been paid. No, has
Oh,
already
it
been
has,
paid
okay.
in 2023. So this 200,000 is just
New.
a new that we have no project
Okay.
lined up for, but it's just, we just put in one project.
Okay,
to show
and
revenue.
as you can see in 2023, compared to the budget, we had three closings, the Marist, the Tompkins Terrace, and the Bard. So we had a strong admin fee for 2023. We're proposing one deal for 2024. Dutchess County's proposed budget, we were knocking it down from 502 possibly to 450 in anticipation of our funding possibly being cut, which now there's some new information.
So, yeah, so, at one point, the county had alerted us that they were looking at, because they weren't, they were expecting a cut in their revenue, so they were telling agencies to expect a cut. But I got confirmation yesterday that the county is gonna keep our funding, the same at 450. So the number under the 2024 budget of 450, is what we know, at this point. It may change because the county doesn't approve their project, budget until December, but the executive office.
So why are we budgeting 502 by?
So
year?
502.
That's the
there's-
estimate for the end of the year.
That's the estimate for the end of the year, and the difference between that is that includes ARPA money that we.
The remainder.
Remainder that we haven't used.
Got it.
And then the county also increased my budget by $10,000 because the county is undergoing a business survey project. And they asked the LDC if, the LDC can do the printing of that.
Through our books,
Through
yeah.
our books. So that's accounts for the
Okay,
50,000
thank you.
more.
Okay, the next is the DCIDA, which we discussed previously at the IDA meeting, increasing it to 200,000 for a possible compliance officer. The private, I'm sorry,
That's a 50,000 amount,
earmarked
yes.
for a compliance officer. The private sector are the event sponsorships, I believe. The WIB is the rent.
Correct.
And the interest, again, conservatively, $40,000 for the funds that we have in CDs at our current bank. The audit is what we discussed previously for the 3 years, 12.9. Everything else pretty much stays the same. Payroll is going to increase due to the proposed compliance officer plus a 3% COLA for our employees, which affects the payroll tax, the payroll fringe, professional service contracts, 215, the total rent, 96,000, trade shows and travel, 10 and 20,000.
Question about that. So I see we budgeted in 2023, 25,000, but it looks like we're only use 20,000. Trade show I do see is budgeted to be up, but what is the return on investment on, these trade shows and the meetings? Should we be increasing that again, talking about our financial position? I mean, is there a direct impact by us, to some extent attending trade shows?
Yes, I mean, we do see a benefit. I mean, attending trade shows, it's again, like kind of the long game, like marketing. It's
Understood.
the long game. So we do develop relationships with site selectors. Just a reminder, the Amazon and the Can-Am were done. We met them at a trade show and those relationships were built there.
So my question is, do we have the staff time and should we be looking to do more of that?
So we could do more trade shows. The reason the number is down is I used to attend a lot more trade shows. This year I didn't attend as many trade shows this year as I did because of some of the administrative work I had to do here. So that's why it's lowered. But we can, if the board feels, but then I would say then it's that much more important to add another staff person
that's gonna be the
because that will leave my
Well,
time to do.
I mean, that is in the budget
Yes.
right now.
So.
The question is, again, is there any minor adjustment that should be made, or is that something just to deal with in the future?
I think this is fine I feel comfortable
Okay.
with travel and meeting at 20,000 and trade shows at 10,000.
All right. Okay. What else? Anything else? Jamie, did you?
No, it's, again, basically, if you look at the revenue, especially that were driven by the administrative fees, our budget in 215,000 in 2023, we had a surplus of 608 because of the 3 deals. So again, it's kind of a lean year. 2024 with the interest rate environment, we're going to be very conservative with a $200,000. So again, if you look at the end of the year, we're projecting a deficit of 330,000.
I know that we do see a lot of things, but it would be interesting in a future meeting, and if it's already out there and I'm just, you can steer me to it, but to look at our budgeted versus actual in the IDA and the LDC for like the last 5 years.
Yeah, historical.
Just to see how it's done through, a cycle, so to
Yeah.
speak. 5 years may not be, but at any rate, be curious to see
Yeah.
how many years we actually operated at a surplus versus a deficit.
Yeah.
Just to remind ourselves, but that may be in Paris, the look back.
Well, no, so
maybe.
we have to look back internally.
Yeah.
Based on, I will say, since 2018, we've been pretty good. We've been trending pretty positive.
Okay.
But prior to 2018, I would say the IDA at one point was, had it not been for Cricket Valley, the IDA probably would not have any funds in there.
So just to, see a cycle.
Yeah.
5-year historical.
But anyways, that would be interesting for, just edification at a future meeting. Anything else? Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. Mark.
No, you're-
No, you're vice chair, please.
That's not in the rules, I think. Well, no, this is not a change, so it's not really a question, but of course, with the marketing, it's interesting that I sort of think of the marketing as a complement to the tourism budget, so, balancing it's a 625,000 cost
Yeah.
towards marketing the county. But I suppose we will be reviewing that contract at some point.
Yeah, so, we renewed it last year.
Yeah.
So next year, it would be
Oh,
up
it's
for
a
our.
2-year,
It's a, well, it's a 3-year, no, so it's 2 years from now, sorry, so.
2 years from now.
Yeah,
That's DCI.
DCI,
Yeah,
yes.
it's a 3-year contract, right?
Okay? Done.
The insurance costs. Does either this entity or the other entity that we spoke of, do they have, and I think it's this entity that it would apply to, is there an employee practices policy as part of our insurance package?
First question, is this, any part of this through Marshall and Stone?
Our insurance,
The insurance, I work with Marshall, yeah.
Okay.
yes.
Should I be recusing myself for this discussion?
This part of it, you'd probably be wise to do that.
Yes, I would like to do that. So, Mark, would you just carry on with that?
Yeah, we'll just do it,
Thanks.
okay. Okay.
So my question is that do we have an employee or practices policy to cover for employer practices liability? Because I'm seeing between the two combined entities, I know, the insurance on average is maybe $8,000-9,000 a year. It
Pretty low.
seems awfully low. You have 6, 7, 8 employees. I don't know if there was an employee, if there was some issue with an employee practice, what our risk management is and where that would go. Would that go under the auspices of the county? Or would it be, maybe, I don't know, you might have some insight into that, Council Capolino.
Well, you tell me.
Well, I'd have to even look into it, but we're not actually employees of the.
You're employee of the LDC, aren't
So,
you?
no, so we use
Yeah,
a
staff line.
staff line as our PEO.
Okay.
And as part of our fees to staff line covers HR services and liability, so if we were to.
I don't think it, no, I'm not an attorney. I think that some consideration should be given with staff line / Ethan Allen. Hey, if we have an employee-employer relationship, notwithstanding the leasing, it still doesn't absolve any risk management for indirect or direct control of employees. Okay? You do have there is covered. I don't know what the agreement is with staff line. Staff line is not mentioned in any of this item here, any of the budget description. So, we don't know about that. You have a payroll number. Does that include the service management fee? How much is the service management fee that we're paying them every year for them to, onboard our one employee a year and manage the benefits and, cut payroll checks twice a month?
It's in the professional fees.
Yeah, okay. I'd like to get a copy of the agreement that we have with staff line, please. Could you get that to me?
Okay, I will.
I use the same thing in our school. They all would get, oh yeah.
We, we have the general liability insurance.
Yeah, that's not
And
gonna cover
then,
employer
no,
practice.
I'm just telling you what insurance, and then the cyber and crime,
Yeah.
okay?
But see, Tim would understand how the relationship.
Unfortunately, he can't speak to it. One time we had two, we had.
Yeah, Charlie.
We had, competing agencies, so I could take that offline and.
My recollection from years ago, I mean, I haven't followed this and been brought up to date on this because it's not something I've been asked to look
Sure.
at. But the county has a policy with risk management. The LDC is a creature of the county legislature.
I just want to be sure,
It was always covered on, and so
Okay.
And I believe in the IDA, before the IDC, LDC rather, the IDA was always covered under risk management. Philemon was, the Commissioner of Finance, he took care of the insurance as well. The risk management is all covered by that. I never heard that it was changed, and I never looked at it, but
Okay.
if you want us to look at it, we'll take a look at it.
Yeah. And I could reach out to risk management as well too, because, I think it's an important opportunity to make sure that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say, to add to Don Capelino's comment is a few years ago, we did look at our insurance, and I think you did look into whether the IDA and LDC board was covered, and so it is covered risk management, but I'm sure, I don't know for employment practices if it's covered under that, but I know the board is covered under the
Yeah,
county.
and I use staff line, and they do provide all of those services.
So I'd like to review the contract.
All right.
Are they gonna hire counsel when there's an employee practices issue? Or would it go?
They had their own counsel. I had a problem at my place.
Okay, I'd like to review that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they have their own
terminated somebody and they came back
Okay.
and they defended.
And we have to pay actually an insurance, there's an insurance surcharge for that we pay
Yeah.
for that, so,
Good. So you can send that to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
okay.
We'll let them back in.
Doesn't seem like they changed that. There's no physical, there's nothing physically insured other than contracts, right?
General liability.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the budget as presented.
Thank you. Could I get a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Any other discussion? Okay, Jasmine, could you please take a roll call vote on the approval of the budget?
Mark Doyle,
Approved.
Amy Bondieri. Approved. James O'Connor,
Approved.
Thomas Fagliano,
Approved.
Tim Dean.
Approved. Okay, unfinished business.
No,
New business.
no,
Just, Chairman Dean, I would just, can we have an action item for all the different things for the next meeting? Like an action item list, because we requested a lot of different things. We're talking about the, increasing the fees to film and tourism, as well as a 5-year history. What else are we asking?
insurance,
The insurance. And I'd also like to see the compliance fee schedule, just to get an idea with 57 projects, how that's broken down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the admin if you want that one. I can print out others. That's just the list that,
Oh, the admin.
the admin fee, you had asked for a copy.
Anything else? And then the other thing that I've asked Sarah to bring back,
Only a soft copy, please. Thank you.
I know there's been discussion about the subcommittee to look at the
policies.
policies
Okay,
around
yeah.
the IDA, and Sarah and I talked about that yesterday, and at our next meeting, what I expect is she will have a list of the things for us that subcommittee, that we hope that subcommittee will accomplish before we look at revising any policies in the coming year.
That subcommittee was for the IDA or the?
IDA and LDC.
Okay.
For both?
Both.
Well, I think that we ought to consider that one topic of action. I don't know if Sarah has developed a more formalized list, is to reevaluate the annual ongoing admin fee. Because $1,000 a year is very cheap.
That's a good point. So.
So
if
you mean
could-
the compliance fee?
compliance fee, yeah.
Compliance fee.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you could look and add that to the list, but she will present us with a list of the things that we discussed for input from you folks, and then
Okay.
that committee will begin to meet between now and the end of the
And
year.
who were the members of that committee, if I recall?
Jamie,
You are,
Amy, and Al.
okay.
And I've asked Jamie to sort of serve as the chair.
Oh,
of
he's
that.
the pro temp?
Yeah, yeah.
Congratulations.
So, again, we'll have that discussion at our next meeting. All right, anything else? Okay, I declare the meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.